Yo, what's going on, Game Leapers? This is Iggs. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the 13.8 patch notes, mate. They got released today, so the patch is out. Hope you guys are winning your games, hope you guys aren't running it down, and hope you guys are maybe abusing the ELO inflated champions because of the buffs that came into 13.8. And that's what we're going to be going through in this video, guys. We're just going to be going through the notes and trying to figure out if these changes actually changed anything, if the meta's going to stay the same, all that stuff. This is also the MSI patch, so for those of you who will be watching MSI with your friends and your dad next year, like maybe you guys can anticipate the teams and the players who are going to pop off because of the champions in the meta. And yeah, just before we get into it, guys, if you do want to improve with this game, like I'm talking tier climbs, I'm talking at least division climbs, please check out the website, mate. Our challenger players and coaches uploading daily content to the website. These could be champion courses guides, macro guides, anything, you name it. We've got everything under the sun, mate, on the website. So join thousands of your fellow summoners, get signed up to stop being bad at the game. Now, patch highlights. Okay, here we go, 13.8. Let's start by going through the champions in alphabetical order. We have Assault, Aurelion Sol, bro, like anyone who's played against this champion, if you don't kill him like 5 times before 20 minutes, you're going to lose the game. I swear that's just how it feels. It's so hard to get near him. And if you don't one-shot him, which can be difficult against players, you know, who actually have their monitors turned on, it is pretty oppressive. So Ryan nerfing this champion is definitely legit, but they have nerfed his health growth and armor growth, which, yeah, just means that he's going to be more one-shottable and killable in the mid to late game. This, I think, is nice because, yes, in the late game, this does make him weaker. I understand, and you can, like, you know, kill him more often, I guess, but making him more vulnerable in the laning phase means that you can't just like blind pick him, because that's what I think like people are just doing now. Like there are definitely some hard counters to him, right? Like champions who can jump on him, quick gap closing champions for sure, right? But for the most part, in the majority of elos, you can just pick this guy and probably just scale for free. So I don't really think this will actually do too much to Aurelion Sol. Again, in the majority of elos, I still think he's going to be really good for 13.8. Moving down to the bot lane here, we have Ezreal. His base attack damage has increased. So his attack damage going up by 2 means that in the early game laning phase, he's going to be dealing more damage with his auto attacks, his Qs and stuff, right? So in terms of like CSing, it will be easier in terms of putting out damage against the enemy champions. Yeah, this just means more damage, right? And this will definitely translate to kills and a bit more CS. This is actually quite a nice buff for Ezreal, and that's why he was in the B tier for our 13.8 AD carry tier list. And moving to the top lane here, kind of a similar buff, honestly. This is to Garen, but he's also getting another buff on top of this one. So the base attack damage is increasing by 3, 66 to 69 way, and his base armor is increasing by 2 from 36 to 38. This means that for early game Garen in the top lane, it makes you a lot better. Against melee champions, your trading potential, right? It's going to be enhanced because of these buffs, and you will definitely feel this. So hopefully you can actually get to the mid to late game without, well, yeah, just being like ahead, I guess. So Garen early game, this is a really nice buff, but I still don't think he'll be able to compete with the best top laners still. Now moving back down to the bot lane here, we have Janna. Your W's damage is increasing, so it's going up by 10 at each rank. The base damage is also dealing more damage based off the amount of AP you have. And because you're going Shurelya's and probably Putrefier or something, you are going to actually feel this W damage, or the enemy champions will. But yeah, this is actually really nice for Janna. Like it kind of makes her a little bit more obnoxious during the laning phase. Like an extra 10 damage means something if you're going something like Aerie, right? And you even max your W first now. Like that's actually a legit idea. And that's how you used to play Janna back in like what, season 7 I think it was. So that becomes more plausible. And you've also got another buff here, so you're either the Storm, the shield you give your allied champion, or yourself. The shield decay timer is going to be twice as long now, which means they're going to have that shield, yes, for twice as long. This is really useful. And you, of course, or even a tower can have the shield. So these are nice buffs for Janna. And she is maybe struggling at the moment because of all the engage. I understand that in most elos she does well still because, yeah, she scales really well. And most games are going to get to the late game. But this is a legit buff, particularly for those Janna players in higher levels of play. And moving to the jungle, J4, your attack damage growth is decreasing. That means that as the game progresses, you're getting less attack damage. This definitely matters. You're going to be getting less kills and stuff. Also, speaking of your damage, your Q's damage is decreasing. So it's going down by 10 at each rank. This is important for J4 in terms of clearing your camp, skirmishing, ganking, fighting, right? Less kills again. You're an early game jungler for the most part. So yeah, this is definitely going to hurt you. His win rate is for sure going to decrease. Now, Kayn. Shadow Assassin Kayn is getting nerfed. As far as your Shadow Step goes, you're copping 2 nerfs here, so the bonus movement speed you get going down to 70%. The cooldown is going up by 10 seconds now. They originally had this at 1 second increase. Now it's a 2 second increase, right? So 10-second cooldown for your Shadow Assassin Shadow Step. So this means you've got to be a little bit more wary, a little bit more careful of just coming out of terrain, using your W and engaging on enemy champions. Most of the time as well, guys, in the late game as this like blue Kayn, you want to be staying in terrain. So the cooldown going up will mean something for sure, as will the bonus movement speed, but the playstyle will still stay the same. And ever since they increased, like Kane's scaling damage, like a few patches ago towards the start of Season 13, Shadow Assassin Kane has been really good. And I still think he will be really good, but yeah, these are nerfs for sure. Now, Kha'Zix is kind of on the other end of the spectrum here, getting one of the biggest buffs, I think, of the patch. Your Q's base damage is getting increased by 10 at each rank. This also means that your isolated damage is going up as well. This is nuts for Kha'Zix. This is pretty much like the essence of your champion, right? Your taste their fear. When you isolate an enemy champion, which is easier now because of the buff like last patch, right, from 13.7, this is going to hit hard. This is going to mean you're getting more kills, right? And if you can do so in the early game, because you're going to be maxing this first as well, so by level 9, 170 base damage plus the isolation damage, champions are going to go boom, bro. Like, not many people are going to have armor by that point, so as far as snowballing goes, you might be one of the best junglers to actually do this in 13.8. So watch out for the cockroach. Now, another champion who looks like a cockroach, Kog'Maw. Your passive's true damage is increasing, and also when you're in your passive, you will be ghosted, so you can go through like minions and stuff, right? Just like Fizz can, and your Q's cooldown is also decreasing, and your E's mana cost is decreasing, and the slow is increasing. So if you're playing AP Kog'Maw, congratulations. Most of these don't really mean too much, and your passive damage increasing. Now you can ghost when you're in your passive. Doesn't really do much for like the majority of a game, right? Like, yes, when you die, this is useful, but if you're playing Kog'Maw, you shouldn't really be dying like too much, I guess, even though you probably are. But yeah, you're just like sitting back, right, and farming. So if it's not like really affecting your lane or your range or your DPS, which really like none of these do, I don't think like these buffs are really going to change anything. They kind of look placebo to me. Maybe I'm wrong. Tell me in the comments, guys, if I am. Bunch of buffs, but not much juice, I don't think. Leona is getting buffed, and these are actually like packing a bit of punch here. So your W's armor and the magic resist you're getting, this is increasing, and the magic damage from your W is also increasing. This means that as far as your all-in goes, not only are you tankier, but you're dealing more damage as well. An extra 10 base damage for your W. This is legit. Like, this puts you on par with Nautilus, Blitzcrank, Pyke, these other engaged supports, so the Solari is back in business here. Now, Lilia, another champion beginning with the letter L. Don't even know why I said that, it's like really not important, but anyway, yeah. But Lilia, this patch, guys, like, there are buffs here, right? So your passive damage to monsters is increasing, your healing against monsters is increasing, and against champions, well, it's been adjusted. But anyway, what's really interesting for Lilia this patch is Cosmic Drive. Cosmic Drive is giving you so much movement speed now, up to 20% if you deal consistent damage, and because you're Lilia, you will, right, with your Q. This means if you've got Cosmic Drive in your build somewhere, so something, I don't know, let's just say you go maybe, what, like Demonic Embrace into Jack-Show Cosmic Drive, you could go Leandra's Anguish into Cosmic Drive, which might be the go-to. Yeah, this actually makes like Lilia good, I think. But the problem is actually, can you get there? With these buffs, I think you will be able to. More damage against monsters and healing, this is going to be useful, so Lilia means you guys should be rejoicing. Malphite getting nerfed, I don't think we have to really get into these changes. Your W, because it got buffed so much at the start of the season, right? This getting nerfed here, Malphite's been the best top laner ever really since those buffs, so W max Malphite, watch out if you're going to do this in 13.8, because it is definitely worse off. Now, Nidalee, another jungler getting some massive buffs. Base armor is increasing by 4, and your armor growth is increasing as well. This makes you unkillable. If you're playing against a team of attack damage champions, just build a Zhonya's on top of this, and it's like you're playing as a tank Nidalee while still one-shotting everyone on the Rift. Get me out. This 100% will be banned, like 50% in higher reloads. Watch that space. Now, another jungler and top laner who's getting buffed, this is Poppy. Your Q's damage is increasing, and the W bonus resistances you get, these are increasing as well. These are nice for Poppy. All variations of her. Also in the top lane, because your Q is dealing damage based off the target health damage, this will be useful for all the tanks in there, and the bonus resistances you get from your W now going up 2%, or if you want to talk about it like relatively 20%, this is also pretty fat. Now, Rakan is getting nerfed as well, guys. He's kind of like the Malphite supports. Pick this guy in any game, you're going to be sweet. Base armor decreased, armor growth decreased. Squisher in the early game, Squisher in the late game. You're going to die more for sure because of these changes, so you might have to be a little bit more careful. And there was only one item, guys, that got changed, and this was Cosmic Drive. So like I mentioned for Lilia, the AP is going up to 100, and also the Spell Dance passive you're getting. This is going to generate a stack of movement speed up to 4 stacks. So at max stacks, you're going to get 10%. And when you do get to max stacks, you get another 10% on top of this, so 20% of your movement speed in total. This is like legit big. For champions like Vladimir, Lilia, right? So these low cooldown mid to late game champions, this is going to be huge. Now, I don't actually know if it will make them broken because none of those champions really are like super OP at the moment. Some of them might be good, but we'll have to wait and see if it really pushes them into OP territory. Guys, that was the video. Thank you so much for watching this like little rundown of the 13.8 patch notes. We will see you in tomorrow's 13.8 video. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you then. This has been Eggs. Bye.